The fake news, huh?
Fake news. What have we got? I mean, fake is relative. If you know how to listen and what to look for, you can find the truth there, even if it's not necessarily the words they're saying. What do I mean? I mean, like, if you can see through the bullshit, you can tell a lot, even from fake news, if you understand. For instance, a very good example, and people are gonna hate me for using this particular one, but the whole commentary on the Russia-Ukraine war,
Okay.
and that's how I'm thinking about that particular stuff. I'm sure if you live in Russia, it's the exact opposite. I take it with that in mind. I take everything they say about, let's be honest, Ukraine is the most corrupt nation in the world. We've known this for a long time, and now all of a sudden they're these heroes. You can't. It's just a little bit too obvious. And I mean, anybody who critically asks themselves any questions about that is going to come up short of the truth. So yeah, even from fake news, there is a message there. There is a message they want you to get. Not so big a thing now with the internet being as prevalent as it is, even in South Africa. Yeah, but then it just got better scripted and more ambiguous. You can say a thing without saying it, for instance. They just got better at it. But like, it also became this kind of political theater, especially what we see news. I mean, these same people that run these legacy news media, they can also start a podcast. There's nothing stopping them from using their millions of dollars of government funding to lie on the internet either. And then it might not be so obvious because, they might not have to declare that, oh, I'm running a podcast for the BBC or CBS News or Fox or whichever one is your pick. So it's really hard to decide who to listen to or not. To be honest, if you hear something, the only way is to fact check. And it came out even like the popular fact checking websites are all completely corrupt.
The problem with the now time that we're living in is like how to know what's fake, what's not, especially with AI. Before, at least you couldn't, if you have a headline, yes, or somebody was saying something, you always had the doubt, like until you cannot prove it, until I don't see a video, I don't see a picture. There's always the chance that you're lying. But now, since AI does so well their job, how to know? And
Yeah.
people are so
Yeah.
quick nowadays to just cancel people for whatever they see, a picture, a video. They don't even ask the supposed aggressor or whatever, like, did you do it? No, they just cancel you
Yeah.
and ask questions.
This is Cosecha Salvaje, Wild Conversations, where the world and everyday ideas meet conversation with Tian and Vivian.
That's really a prank relationship. You don't want to start. Just I can imagine just like scaling, like leveling up all the time.
Escalating. Yes,
Super
especially
quickly.
now that we have time and energy.
Oh no. No. Is he younger?
Yeah. Yes, he's young.
Oh man, no.
I think he's like
another AJ.
23,
No.
24.
Worse. He's fresh.
No, he's very timid, like.
Yes, but once you open that door, maybe he's a whole tiger inside.
One of the spa ladies, when she disembarked, she gave him a straight blade, right, to shave with. And he was like, how the hell am I supposed to use this thing? Like, it's sharp. I'm going to kill myself. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be sharp. It's for shaving.
Oh dear. Let's hope he doesn't get into the wrong hands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's like one of those ones that takes the menorah blade.
Oh, it's even sweet. It's like, it's like those.
Yes.
Anywho, the fake news, huh?
Fake news. What have we got? I mean, fake is relative. If you if you know how to listen and what to look for, you can find the truth there, even if it's not necessarily the words they're saying. What do I mean? I mean, like, if you can see through the bullshit, you can tell a lot, even from fake news. If you understand, you can. For instance, a very good example, and people are gonna hate me for using this particular one, but the whole commentary on the Russia-Ukraine war,
Okay.
like, you have to be completely living under a rock to not realize that there is two sides to the story, and we are clearly only being fed one. Like, all of the news has been purpose built to fit one side of the story and diminish the other. You understand? And
Like,
I'm not making any commentary on this or that. What I'm saying is it's very, very clear that there is a message that they want you to hear, and they want to make sure you're not hearing the other side of the story. That tells me something.
yeah, of course.
That tells me that there is a concerted effort to hide certain elements and spotlight others. And that's how I'm thinking about that particular stuff. I'm sure if you live in Russia, it's the exact opposite.
Yes, of course.
So I take it with that in mind. I take everything they say about, let's be honest, Ukraine is the most corrupt nation in the world. We've known this for a long time. So, and now all of a sudden they're these heroes. You can't. It's just a little bit too obvious. And I mean, anybody who critically asks themselves any questions about that is going to come up short of the truth. So yeah, even from fake news, there is a message there. There is a message they want you to get. Not so big a thing now, with the internet being as prevalent as it is, even in South Africa. You had a lot of people that was completely dependent on, radio and television for their news. Okay. And the problem was, like, satellite TV was very expensive. So the ones you had was what we call the SABC, the South African Broadcasting Corporation, which is completely government controlled. And that's very dangerous. You see those kinds of things now. They kind of try to hide it, but, like, if that's the case, you're only going to get one side of the story. It's going to be very hard for you to even, frankly, at that point, you shouldn't believe a word any of them are saying, because if they have a monopoly on the information you're getting on a daily basis, they're going to abuse that power 100%.
But on that point, it's very interesting because even though in this area, like in this era that you can fact check everything on the spot, you tend to believe more the first version of the story, always. So I can imagine the olden days, like if the broadcaster news, they will tell you that, I don't know, like whatever news, you tend to believe it blindsided, since you have no way to double check the information. But now we also see
that's the
it.
thing. I mean, the older people, they knew this, they
What do you
understood
mean?
this.
That they
My mother always used to say, if you don't want to lie, don't speak about the weather or politics.
But that's
They knew.
there's the two stories.
They knew
Not
they were being
everybody.
lied to. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have both stories. You have like analytical, like thinking people. Let's call it that way. That understand that there must be a second story. There's always a like you said before. There's the other side of the story.
Yeah.
But I was listening
Yes,
to a
but then a
podcast the other
precious
day.
minority.
Yes, exactly. The majority, I mean, whatever they saw in the news, it was like preaching the Bible. It's like
Yeah,
it is as it is. And this man is South African as well. He was saying the day I found out that the news were lying was the day I was sitting with my parents watching the news, and they said there was a bomb in my city, and I was here. Nothing happened. It's like when they say something happened near
yeah,
to you, but literally nothing has happened today. Like my day hasn't been shaken up. There's many things about it, of course. I mean, it's not like, I mean, places are big. Like saying something happened in Bogota, but where?
yeah,
Bogota is huge. So
yeah, yeah,
there's the two sides of it.
yeah.
I guess I was reading that
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. That's happened to me personally, by the way. Like
how?
I remember we were yes, yes, yes. We I was still working in law in a particular law enforcement agency, and we had an encounter with a pretty renowned criminal, and we managed to. Yeah, there was a bit of a shooting, and the guy ended up dead. And then, like, literally the next morning, I woke up, got in my car, turned on the radio, and listened to the news reporting that somebody else had, some other government agency had managed to make the arrest and apprehend these people. And I was like, there.
I was like
you know
lies.
and they were not even yes, a blatant lie, just a blatant lie.
I guess I don't know. I guess it's all like a comedy show or like a big Hollywood movie. It's about the who has the prime story.
Yeah,
Like the first take. Truth
yeah,
or a lie doesn't matter. No, the idea is to just
no,
be the
no,
first
no.
one in mentioning the situation, and then you can just work with it and tailor the story a little
Yes,
more. That was before they started to actually asking the people from the news to like, you need to rectify, you need to go back and say that you said a lie. And that's when they
you need
started to mold it a little bit more.
yeah, but then it just got better scripted and more ambiguous. You can say a thing without saying it, for instance. They just got better at it. But like, it also became this kind of political theater, especially what we see news. I mean, these same people that run these legacy news medias, they can also start a podcast. There's nothing stopping them from using their millions of dollars of government funding to, lie on the internet either. So and then it might not be so obvious because they might not have to declare that, oh, I'm running a podcast for the BBC or CBS News or Fox or whichever one is your pick. So it's really hard to decide who to listen to or not. To be honest, if you hear something, the only way is to fact check. You, and it came out even like the popular fact checking websites are all completely corrupt. So what do you do? Or what to do? The best way is to listen to both sides of the story and realize that the truth is somewhere in between. This is the most accurate news you can get.
It's funny because before, I think the first time I ever heard like fake news as a not a statement but as a judgment, you know, was Trump. I don't think, I mean, we all knew before that fake news really existed. Yes. I mean, for the millions of like actors and actresses that die before they even like being alive, and like, the news always said that they died in a crash car or whatever. Like somebody was dying every day without being dead. So, but I mean, we all knew
Yeah.
somehow,
Yeah.
and social media didn't. I think the incubator of like fake news from the beginning has been Twitter, the place where people can just like
Say whatever they want.
uh-huh
Uh, I don't know. I actually think it's much older than that. You know, you had during the Second World War, for instance, you had the Nazi Party literally paying high-ranking generals to do nothing else but disseminate fake news about the war. And certainly they did the same thing during the First World War. And really, this comes from them. I can't remember exactly this guy's name right now off the top of my head, but he's one of the famous Nazi top 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 ranking Nazis. He was responsible for figuring out how to use the media to
uh-huh
manipulate the will of the people, if you know what I mean. And they were extremely good at this, by the way. They took something quite benign and they made it in the news a very big thing. And through that, it enabled them to power grab, basically, because, you know, we must protect ourselves from these Jewish people. And there you go. You have a Holocaust before anybody can rub their eyes and say, "Boh," you know what to
was
do.
it was it
So
Joseph
really,
Goebbels?
it came from them. They Goebbels. It may
Goebbels.
have been that. It's one of those guys. Yes, yes, yes.
He was the minister of
Goebbels,
propaganda,
Joseph Goebbels.
so it has to
You,
be.
you you see what I'm saying? Like literally, it's in his job description to disseminate propaganda. They even made movies. They came up with that. That wasn't a Hollywood idea, you know. Virtue signaling in movies and TV was all him.
I mean, it's all
And
really a
obviously,
marketing
the Americans
strategy.
just ran with it and virtually perfected the art of subliminal messaging via movies and television. I think television is mostly to blame for what's wrong with the world, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, it's a way to distract us from what's happening. To be honest, that's the only thing it does, and to
Yeah.
it's
Well, no, it's not even a very good distraction. It's it's a fake world that they made up, and they're continuously pushing it down your throat. Like this is what the world is supposed to be. Eventually, we all believe it. We've all fell for it at some point in time.
well because they make
So
it
it goes much further
beautiful.
than they're just news or social. Exactly, exactly.
They make it beautiful.
They, they mix in a nice story and some clever visuals, and all of a sudden, you know, the world is the way they want it to be, even when it's clearly not.
The problem with, I mean, the problem with the now time that we're living in is like how to know what's fake, what's not, especially with AI, you know? Like before at least you couldn't like if you have a headline, yes, or somebody was saying something, you always had the doubt, you know, like until you cannot prove it, until I don't see a video, I don't see a picture. I mean, there's always the chance that you're lying. But now, since AI does so well their job, how to know, you know? And
Yeah.
people are
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
quick nowadays to just cancel people for whatever they see, a picture, a video. I mean, they don't even ask the supposed aggressor or whatever, like, did you do it? No, they just cancel you
Yeah.
and ask questions, which is quite dangerous,
Yeah.
say.
I mean, yes. That first of all, that this cancel culture process is completely backwards. You know, they 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 do first, and then the onus of proof is on you to prove that you didn't do this or say this or mean that.
Mm.
You know, which is it's completely backwards. It's supposed to be the other way around, no? But so that's for one. And secondly, to your point, yeah, AI, and I think this is going to have to be a major issue that the big data companies are going to have to address with AI is it okay to use someone's personal likeness for anything? If you understand what I'm saying. Uh, how can a machine look at a picture of me and copy that, and then make me say something that I didn't say? Where do we stand, legally and morally on that? Because AI can do that, and we've seen that over and over and over again. So now, at which point will the law catch up to the technology and say, hey, listen, you cannot just use somebody's personal likeness, and hold big tech responsible for what their technology is able to do? I mean, because at this stage, big tech is just saying, oh no, we just make the technology. We're not responsible for what people use it for,
They wash their
which
hands,
is
yeah.
which is rubbish. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's complete rubbish. You absolutely cannot just wash your hands of your creation. There needs to be some guide rail somewhere, and it's not being followed.
It's funny because what you said, I mean, they
And I
have
mean,
done it. They have done it in an OpenAI, I think it is. In LA, it's already illegal. Like, you cannot use, especially like actors and actresses' faces to do anything in terms of
mhm,
video with AI. But it's
yeah,
I think it's a slow process. It's gonna go like state by state, city by city. Like, it shouldn't be that slow. Like, if it's illegal in
yeah. I
LA, it
mean,
should be legal everywhere.
well, this I don't quite agree with, but on other ground, uh, the reality is like the law changes slowly and technology changes fast. Okay, so what they're doing is just they're just constantly outpacing the law, essentially, because the way law is structured, it takes a certain amount of time to accomplish a certain amount of things. Okay, and if there is no political will, which there is not in this case, because these big tech companies are giving not only millions in tax dollars to the government every month, they're also giving personal kickbacks to the people in charge. They're funding election campaigns and these kinds of things. You see them more and more become almost more and more politicized. You see people like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk getting very, very involved in politics, which is scary, to be honest. These people should not be involved in these kinds of things. It's not their prerogative. Okay, if you're gonna be in big business, and especially in big tech nowadays, just simply because of the amount of money and technology that is at your disposal, you should have a little bit of decorum to say, I should not throw myself in with the pigs because, it, it, it can benefit you in the short term, but in the long term, it just destroys your integrity. It's simply it, it's reputationally disastrous in the long term to get involved, to mix business and politics. And it always has been, and it always will be. You still have companies like Volkswagen trying to explain why they made tanks for the Nazis. They will never live it down. You understand? So now we see the same thing. We see all of these memes online of like of terrorist organizations rolling down the road in new Land Cruisers, and everybody's
Yeah,
going, "Well, why is Toyota selling them all of these cars?" And the reality is, Toyota probably isn't even selling them these cars. These cars
that's what
are
I want to
being
say.
bought up by companies and shipped to them. But at some stage, Toyota has got to go, man, we really got to look at our clientele here and try to stop this from happening because it's really bad PR.
Yes and no, because that's something you cannot control if you get it. Like
No,
literally, there's
no,
no way
it's
we can
very hard.
control. Yes, of course. It's unfortunate, to be honest, that just because your brand appear in an unfortunate video, they just make the connection straight that you are part of the problem, and literally you're just at home making those things for the people. I mean, making a check like a background check every time somebody's gonna buy something, then business will go down. Nobody will buy anything.
Oh yes, certainly you will, but this is a catch-22 situation for them, and I guess it's maybe a little bit off topic because it's not really Toyota getting involved in politics, but it's a catch-22 because Toyota they just want to build a super reliable pickup truck that never breaks, and that happens to be very useful in particular situations. And some of those particular situations involved, masked men and guns. So then in a catch-22, if they don't do anything about it, if they don't start looking at their clientele, they're going to keep showing up on the TV news, uh, supporting the bad guys. And if they do, they're going to lose, like you said, a significant amount of business. Yeah, they need to sit down and do the math and decide, what is worse for us at the end of the day.
There should be rules to commit crimes. Okay, they're gonna use a car, just remove the plate. We all know what brand is it, but at least it doesn't show. Anyhow, what do you think? We like fake news. Seems like we like it, to be honest.
I don't think it's that we like it so much as that they understand that we are more likely to believe a story that's relatable. Okay.
So if a headline
To quote someone,
resembles
and I'm not sure who he is, but he said, human beings are far happier believing a lie than they are admitting that they don't know. You know, so so they know that. In a sense, you might take that and say, okay, we want to be lied to, which is not quite the case. The fact is that a lie told, the truth is often not as
fantastic.
fun. Fantastical is not quite the word. Um, Yeah, the lie is more fun, you know.
It's more colorful, let's say.
Yes, in a way. You know, there is this term in journalism they call sensationalism.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it is. You know, if people don't want to know that, Diana just went out and got drunk and her driver crashed into a wall under a bridge. There's got to be more, you know?
Of course, of course.
A big person cannot die in such a boring and irresponsible way, you know? So, yeah. This is a part of our humanity. I don't think there's anything we can do except for be aware of it within ourselves. You know, if you're aware, at the very least, you can try to fortify yourself against it.
Do you think like having a title or let's say a specific power makes you more believable? Like,
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Um, uh, uh, this is, and I saw this from a very young age. Well, people are taking political and life advice from actors. You know, these millionaire people who don't even live in the fucking real world. Like their lives are not even almost relatable to yours. Why on earth would you be taking political advice
no.
from them? But still, you see Beyonce get up on stage with Kamala Harris and dance around and do her thing and tell everybody what is the truth, and millions believe her because it's Beyonce, obviously. Why would she lie to us?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I just saw a video, like it was like an extract from Obama's interview, and he was explaining exactly that. Like before being president, you used to see all these billionaires and millionaires that you really thought they were like great minds. Like they had this capacity of making money, and they were like when you were in the room with these people is like experiencing the whole Olympus, you know. And he said, then I was president, and I sat down with these people, you know, and it happens that they're just the
That,
folk, they're not
yeah,
special. They're literally
no,
nothing special. Like
they're
some of
just
them
high
didn't
on
make
their own supply.
exactly. He was saying something interesting. He was saying that the only thing that make them special it was that they were exposed, you know, like they were so visible to the public about what they have and everything, but nobody actually sat down with them and said, okay, how did you do it? What did you do?
Yes,
Or anything.
yes,
Like in a movie I just saw called for Good Fortune, they were changing lives, one from like being poor and the other super rich, and they
yes.
wanted to change back. And he said, no, 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 like, okay, you want to stay in my life, the one that literally got tears and like sweat making it. And he was like, and the other one was like, really? Did it take all that tears and sweat? It's like, kind of. I mean, the money I got it from my grandfather, who was like president on something like that, like very important person, and his parents was like one was a lawyer and the other one was a practitioner. So he was built in money. It's like it's not really that you make your fortune about like in tears and sweat. It was just like continue of the chain.
Yeah, yeah. Like these people are. The, I mean, uh, especially some of these singers. They're a really good example of how out of touch they actually are with reality. and I think we've had this conversation before. Like, you should not be taking political advice from actors and singers, and you should not be making comedians the president of your country. And for that matter, you should probably not be making, reality TV billionaires the president of your country, because that's a bad plan.
We have a few examples nowadays about
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Just
Yeah, exactly.
interesting.
Uh, and the reason why that's happening is because people are sick and tired of the political establishment lying to them. This is exactly what we're talking about. So they have the feeling that, okay, let's make Arnold Schwarzenegger the government. Let's have a governator. At the very least, he's not a politician, which is kind of sad, right? If you think about it, we're making people, simply because they're well known and they're interested and they show interest in us, you
Yeah.
know, simply that's enough for us to choose them as our leader,
Yeah.
you know, uh, because the people who should be coming to the fore as our leaders, they're just stepping on so many toes that we're just sick and tired of it. So let's elect anybody who's not a politician.
That is so funny. Like, that is literally worldwide. Like, we have,
Yeah,
for example,
yeah,
the Minister of Culture in Panama, which is the singer, well, was the singer
yeah.
Ruben Blades.
Oh man, at the
Let's
very
say
least, he's somewhat qualified for the position if he was in entertainment and his
that's what I was
portfolio
gonna
is
say.
culture. At the very least, that kind of makes
It's
sense.
related. Yeah, at
Well,
some
but now we have in America, the most powerful man is in the world essentially a property tycoon. Uh, be that as it may, it could be worse. At least they don't have a comedian for a president in the middle of a war,
it's
like
funny because
like like the
some
Ukrainians.
yeah, like sometimes they're actually on point, like you just said, you know, and sometimes they're just, I don't know how you got there, like which connections you had, who do you were related to. And that was literally a discussion in Colombia a few years ago when there was an ambassador. I think he was an ambassador for the US or something, or Colombian. But this man was widely known for the like TV presenter, and like game show presenter. And he was like upgraded all the way to be like an ambassador for
Mhm.
for the country. And they were like, why? Why? Like,
How is he qualified for this?
exactly. Like, what? Like, do you have experience, or did you at least go to school and get like a lawyer's degree, business, something like that? I mean, how do you go from presenter like a, I don't know, like 100 millionaire, whatever, to like
Yeah,
represent a
who
whole nation?
wants to be a millionaire
Who wants
to
to?
being?
Yes, a
Yeah.
representative of the country. Like, how? I don't know.
Well, I just told you how people don't want politicians around anymore, so they're electing people who are not.
But we shouldn't
And
go
the only
that far
people
away.
are the ones who are in our eye.
I mean, we should at least. I mean, I understand the point. I understand that any choice is better than that, like than a specific choice. But we
Hmm.
shouldn't go so far. It's not. It shouldn't be about like having a nice person who doesn't know jack about the job,
Yeah, yeah.
because in uh, in the end would be the same. Having a good one with who knows nothing, or having a bad one, in the end we're doomed.
I mean, this time I actually do know who I'm going to quote. It was George Washington who said that anybody who has the ability to get themselves elected president should, on no account, be allowed to do the job, right? Like, you have to be a fucking criminal to get yourself elected that way. You have to compromise yourself, else you will not win. So if you're
Oh
willing to
man,
compromise yourself for the position,
oh
you know
man,
what to do.
there's some. I mean, this subject is really so much fun. There's so many things. I remember there was
Yeah,
another one. What's the name of these guys who like clean your shoes in the street? The shoe thingy.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either.
We don't have that in South Africa. We clean
Oh,
our own shoes.
now we do have plenty, plenty, plenty.
Yeah,
There was this story, I
yeah,
don't remember his name, but for some reason he was like a shoe cleaner, whatever. And something happened and something was wrong, and he decided to run for Senate out of the blue.
yeah,
And he won. He won. He was in the Senate. And
yeah.
what, how? I think it's because he was the man of the people, maybe. I don't know, like
He
it
was
was
more relatable.
relatable.
At the very least, he lived in the same world as us.
Yes, but I think he
That
got
would be
corrupted.
the opinion.
Oh,
Of course he did, because
he,
someone like that is super duper easy to corrupt. For the kind of mainstay politicians will eat him alive. You know.
and not only that, like for from going to make, I don't know, $500 a day a month to 10,000 overnight.
It's not about that. It's not about the salary. It's about the special
For this one,
interest
maybe.
groups willing to throw $1 million at you for saying this or that on TV. Those are the ones you need to be careful of.
Oh dear.
And
So,
yeah, you're right. They're very vulnerable to that kind of thing, and all sorts of other types of manipulation because they don't understand the world they're walking into. Like politics is it's really a dirty, dirty game. Like it's the worst of the worst people who end up in politics. And this is why we don't want to elect them, but this is also kind of why we need them to be on our side. Again, it's the old-fashioned trade-off. You elect a good leader is almost the same as saying you're electing a weak leader.
it's kind of like you can't live with them, but you cannot like live without them at the same time. You
Yeah.
kind of need them.
And that's the people who really like Trump. They will make that argument. They will look at, okay, let's say we put a sock in this guy's mouth, and for both of his presidential terms, he didn't say a word and kept him off Twitter and X and never went on social media, never got into public rants that don't make sense. Let's throw away all of that and we just look at what he did on paper. Frankly, he's probably the best president America's had in the last 40 years.
I'm not sure. It's funny because it's funny how one single world, like one single country. I mean, that I can understand what's the importance of the US in terms of the world, you know.
Money,
But
money, money,
nobody,
money.
yes, exactly. But nobody's talking about like the corruption presidency of Colombia, or they never teach us how corrupted was the presidency of South Africa or Turkey. It's like
Yes.
so condensed in one specific. Like I'm pretty sure everywhere in the world knows all the conspiracy theories. Whose wife is not a woman but a man? What did they do? In that area. But if somebody asked them about, okay, what was the worst president of Colombia, nobody would say anything. Maybe they would say the current one, just because he was like visa cancelled and things like that, being very flashy. But
Yes.
that is not enough
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say somebody's a bad president or not. It's funny how we know more about the US than
And
the rest.
it's because of what I said earlier. They took what the Nazis did. They even imported some of the personnel. Okay, the Manhattan Project was full of ex-Nazis.
Oh yeah.
And they fine-tuned the techniques. They fine-tuned the propaganda to the state where they've said that whatever happens in America is the most important thing in the world for so long. We started believing them. You know, in reality, sure, it's a big, powerful, wealthy country, but in reality, who is president of America to you and I, it doesn't really make that much difference, does it?
No.
I mean, unless you're trying to immigrate there, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so so they kind of thrust themselves into this position of power, and they did so uh, quite on purpose, with the intent to give themselves the power to tell other people what to do and to get and they did so quite successfully, using things like Hollywood to show other people, look how great is America. This is the point. Look what we can do. Look how well we live. Look how morally superior we are to you. And people started believing. That's how we ended up here.
It's funny because while you were saying that, it was like there's only one solution. Like if I go to the woods, whatever country we decide, and we don't have any type of information from anywhere, maybe the local newspaper, perhaps.
I guess
How
you'll
that?
be significantly happier. I'm gonna
Yes.
almost
Yes.
guarantee you, if you did something like that, you will live a much happier, much more productive life. But at the same time, it's an ostrich sticking its head in the sand. It doesn't make the problems go away. They're still there, whether you want to hear it or not. And you're still
Yeah.
gonna inevitably end up with your nose up against that mountain, and better to know what you're dealing with at that stage.
Yes. And no. Yes, because you're gonna be dealing with the problems that will be happening in your surroundings, whether they do affect, like they're affected by what's happening in the world or not. It's like it's a different kind of problem, let's say, in a way. No?
I mean, tell that to the shepherds in Afghanistan who try to live that way. The problem is they
That's
don't
a
go
bad
away.
example. I mean,
That's a very good
Afghanistan.
example.
No, Afghanistan is
like
literally the
these
target.
guys just trying to live their lives and fucking feed their goats and run their families the way they've always run. And suddenly bombs start falling out of the sky, and they had very little to do about it. They had very little to say. Or
Yes, but
hello,
I mean, Afghanistan is I don't know how big is
you see.
Afghanistan.
So the problems will come to find you, whether you like it or not.
Oh, that is such a dark, I don't know, statement.
Yeah, we see this happening again and again. You can't run away from it. I mean, you can ignore it and you'll be happy, as I said. But at the end of the day, when the popo hits the proverbial, you're gonna have to deal with it. And then it's better to have the information, even if the information is not so good, not so fun to listen to. this is our bed, we must lie in it. We cannot just stick our head in the sand and act like there is no problems in the world, because then the problems will never go away.
No. What do you think about what, I don't know who decided, but how we should refer now to fake news, like the four terminologies we should use according, like if it's misinformation or disinformation or malinformation.
I I mean, these types of classification systems, unless you're trying to, tell the difference between a cat and a dog, they're not very useful. Does it all just ends up being the same thing, right? So a lie is a lie, and they don't want to call it a lie. So now all of a sudden we have to get into the particulars and see what kind of a lie it is. It doesn't matter; it's still a lie. So that in and of itself is a way to try and mislead you, because then all of a sudden you can make the same situation coming out of two different people's mouths. The one is this and the other is that. Uh, it's all bullshit. It's bullshit. You know, the reality is they're lying to you, all of them, and there's very little you can do about it except take 5 minutes to fucking Google.
The one that really gets me is the malinformation, because it says it's like malinformation is like information that is true but out of context. But in that case, everything is out of context. Nobody has the full truth. So how
Yeah,
how
how do
can
you
can
how
you?
how do you do a half-hour newscast and give the full? It's impossible. And
Yeah,
by the way, this is the basis of Mr. Trump's lawsuit against the BBC, his billion-dollar lawsuit.
malinformation.
Yes, 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 yes. Because what they did was they took video clips of him and edited it in such a way that it seemed like he was saying something he wasn't, which is fair. But at the same time, as in, you have a fucking 50-second or a 60-second slot for a news story. You can't show. So now it has to be up to the journalist to have some integrity, and they don't. There is
No,
no,
they never do, and
no,
it's something
they
that it's
never,
been
they
always.
never, and yes, exactly. They never have had any integrity. Journalistic integrity is dead and gone, because all of the journalists with integrity got fired years ago. Okay? Because if you're not willing to lie for these people, they will get rid of you in a heartbeat. So that's kind of the sad bit.
And it's funny because I mean, like, taking your words out of context is really easy. They don't need, they can literally just cut you in the right moment. Just two words,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
full question or full statement, and they can just put the yes,
yes,
and yes, and you agreed. It was like, wait, and
yeah.
it's just, oh
'Cause
man.
this is what I'm saying, man. Turn off your radio, turn off your TV. Try not to go onto social media, and find your information via means that is less controlled, less structured. Uh, word of mouth, I guess, is the best. You
It's,
know.
I will say it's the only one, because everything, even Wikipedia, you can rewrite it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, some are better than others. Like Wikipedia might not be great for writing a science paper, but for getting a general idea, probably Wikipedia is sort of a hive mind idea. Because, as you say, anybody can, at the very least, the good and the bad guys can both edit Wikipedia to their heart's content. But there are still moderators.
Are
And
there?
this
I
is where
didn't
the
know.
snag comes. Yes, 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 of course. These edits are reviewed, and these people decide whether are we going to allow these edits to show on the page or not. So there really just are no winners here, to be honest. Yeah, and like you say, with AI, you can't even believe your own eyes anymore.
No, you can't.
Now it's really better to just switch it off and stay the hell
No.
away. Yeah, take as
It's
little as possible.
it is
And I guess this is
really
why this
scary.
format has become so popular. Like the Joe Rogans of the world. First of all, Joe Rogan has more viewers a week than Fox, CNN, and the BBC combined.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason for this is in a long format conversation, it's really hard to take someone out of context because they have the time to explain themselves properly. And this is how human beings have always gotten their information, by speaking to other human beings. Okay, not having one person speaking and giving us all of this information, kind of like a lecturer trying to force information into your
Answers.
head,
Yes. Yes.
but
Yes.
having a back and forth, two people bouncing an idea one way and the other. This is a much more natural way to receive information, and being able to watch that happen live, you can immediately tell when somebody goes on the Joe Rogan show and they're trying to push a particular
Agenda.
idea. Or,
Mm.
yes, if they have some
Yeah.
alternate agenda, you can see it like this, because the other person is simply going to ask the right question, and it's all going to fall apart.
Well, because in that format, you are there to listen. To elicit the conversation.
Yes.
But I was thinking about the core journalists from before, like the ones that were like praised or making their interviewers cry and everything, because what they used to do was instigate the people they used to interview, like break them to the point that they will admit things that they didn't even do. it's
Yes.
like
Yes.
it's criminal sometimes to
Oh
see that.
yeah. You'll see it. I saw this a lot with probably someone I saw respond to it better than everybody else was this Canadian doctor, Jordan Peterson. You saw him go online, and or even on the in the natural news media. And they would just come
Yeah.
out vindictively attack him for things he never even said, like not only taking him out of context, just simply, blatantly attacking his character on live TV. And he had a pretty good way of responding to them, I think, at the very least. And so, I mean, that's not journalism. First and foremost, that's just being a bully. Okay,
Mm.
and being a bully with a very clear agenda. Okay, that kind of interviewer is saying a lot more about themselves than they are about the person they're interviewing. At the end of the day, for me personally, if you can look through the bullshit,
Agree.
you can learn a lot. If you watch a Piers Morgan interview,
you can learn a lot more about Piers Morgan than you can about the person he's interviewing, because he's the one pushing the narrative. You understand?
Well, they do have a goal.
don't
I
want
mean,
to signal him out, but because there's plenty of them around there. But
yeah,
but they're just sharks. This is all they do. They're just sharks and bullies, and they have an agenda themselves, and they try to make anybody who opposes their agenda look a certain way by trying to dominate the conversation in them. And this is not journalism. This is not news. This is, I mean, it scarcely even qualifies as propaganda. It's sensationalism. That's all it is. Because unfortunately, people like to see that kind of thing. Because we do
yes.
have a little bit of a dark side, you know.
No.
So
And
I guess in a
and in that sense, is way more interesting to decipher, like read between the words, if you get it. Like I'm saying maybe, but the interviewer is that you're saying maybe, but all you wanted to say was yes, right? Like you said, like tailor the narrative and just like, I don't know, walk you to the path they need. I don't think, I mean, I do understand most of them are sharks and bullies and things like that. I want to believe they didn't want to be that way at the beginning. They just wanted to
yeah,
be
but
big and famous, and that was the price they needed to pay, maybe.
yeah, that's certainly a part of it. Also, to a certain extent, like I said before, the people who goes into interviews on, especially like timed slots. This is a part of the problem with legacy media. If you have 20 minutes with someone, okay, you have to structure it perfectly as an interview. You have to have your questions, you have to have responses to your possible answers. Okay, so in that way, we can set it up that no matter what you say, I can have a comeback. Okay, I'm going to prepare myself that no matter what comes out of your mouth next, I already know what I'm going to say before I ask the question. And that's not a conversation. That's not how a conversation works. So just by adding this time frame to it, you almost completely void the conversation.
Well, because whatever, if they want to, like you said, if you have a structure and you have a line to follow and you want to unveil the truth or whatever you want to lie to yourself, there's no room for going off the tracks. Just need to keep pushing. It's just horrible. It really salesman philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. They're selling a story, and sensationalizing, politicizing, absolutely everything. Look, you can politicize anything you want. Like we were talking about it the other day, school shootings. Like school shootings has become the poster child for anti-gun sentiment. Like as if the gun somehow unlocked the safe and went down the street and did this all by themselves. You can politicize absolutely anything, and nothing is off limits. There is nobody telling the anti-gun group like, "Hey, listen, this happened there. Let's say there was some school shooting somewhere, and there is no one going, hey, listen, maybe now is not the time for your politics. People are dead. Something tragic has happened. Just have a little bit of decorum. you know? No,
But
nobody's
no,
saying that.
on the
Nobody's
opposite.
telling them to shut the phone. Yes, exactly.
On the
People are
opposite.
supporting them. Yes,
Like,
we should take people's
yes,
guns. It's
yes.
like like what is going on in your head? How dumb are you? Really? Like honestly, how far have we fallen? Like there is no reason anymore. There is no decorum. There is very little humanity left in us. Nothing is off limits.
Nothing. Yeah. I was just thinking, like, for every single tragedy, it's always an opportunity to campaign, you know? Like, even
Yeah,
just saying, like, I'm sorry, that has a purpose to give you points, and going up,
yeah,
which is bananas,
yeah.
you know? That makes
Yeah,
me
go look.
think,
Every time something tragic happens, and you go, if you go to the Wikipedia page, there is a whole section of all of the well wishes that different countries sent to them. Like, uh, I'm sorry, what? This has got fuck all to do with you. Like, something happened across the world, and suddenly we have to put in a Wikipedia page now that the president of, you know, Japan sent his best wishes to the Peruvians because there was some mudslide or flood or whatever. I'm just, you know,
like, that means something. Like,
sickening. It's sickening. Like whatever the president of Japan thinks about what happened in Peru actually matters. You
yeah,
know?
that makes me think about the recent Miss Universe thing that happened. Did you hear? So they were in Thailand, and the guy who was one of the directors or something from Thailand, he was saying stuff about what to do and what not to do. And the Mexican Miss Universe, she was speaking against that, and they got into an argument. She said, because I never heard he said that, but she said that he said she was stupid. So she stood up and walked away. I'm not gonna participate in this thing, blah blah blah. And in the end, the guy was like removed from the thingy, and she won for fighting for women's rights.
Well, I don't know the story. I don't know any of the factuality of this. But I mean, well, what to do? What to say?
Nothing. It's
Uh,
it's just interesting.
you know, I don't know what happened with this whole Miss Mexico story, but
It's funny because I saw the video.
having
I saw the
yeah.
video, and it was something regarding like not making, like they were told not to make any post on social media, but this guy from Thailand was saying that they should. Something like in the tracks, I might be super wrong, but Miss Mexico stood up and said like that's not the way, like she stood up for whatever he was saying, and the news like exploded and said that he actually said that she was dumb, and she stood up for herself and said like you have no right to call me stupid, and she walked away. They were like, okay, if this man is still part of this show, I'm not gonna be part of it. And at least I think it was 10 more from the pageant, they decided to walk away with her, and then
Mm-hmm.
they arranged the stuff. He was gone. They did the pageant, and Miss Mexico won. And don't get me wrong, she might have had every single tool to win. I mean, she's not ugly, but I was wondering, like, how much weight did that news about like her being like a, I don't know, like ambassador for women not to be treated like shit, weighted in
And
terms of
what
winning?
I would like to see is because, like, I'm not a pageants person, okay?
Fair.
So I would like to see how many people were watching the pageant before this happened and how many were watching after. And then
Ratings.
I would
Yeah.
ask myself the question, like, having worked in television before, I would ask myself the question like, was this a stunt?
That's what I was gonna say.
You know, that this was this all just about pushing up ratings? It highly likely seems like, you know, this is one of the easiest, simplest explanations, and that's another thing about the truth. You know, Arkansas razor is a thing. The simplest explanation is most likely the correct one.
Yes, because like you're saying, like that's what got me thinking, you know, like when she won, people were like, yes, like she deserves it. She stood up for us women to not be treated like shit. And you know, like it was the happy ending that
It's kind of ironic, to
yes,
be honest.
yes, yes. So I was thinking like,
Yeah,
man,
like
like we don't really care about
you're
how
in essentially the most hypersexualized position a woman can be in, and the idea is you're standing up for yourself while you know, we're silly. Humans are silly. We're so silly. Why?
we are.
What the hell?
We are, we are. We are. And I wonder, I mean, it has to be. I was wondering, like, what if like, she wouldn't have won, you know? Like, she did all this thing, standing up for women, blah, blah, blah. What if she would have been just a runner up, you know? Like, would it
Yeah.
have the same, would it be outrageous? People would be like canceling Miss Universe because she was not the winner. She deserved it. You know, she was pushing for women's rights. And
Uh, and she didn't win. I mean, who knows what really happened? It's
yes,
impossible to tell.
yes,
Eh, Even the people who were there probably didn't understand what was going on when it was going on. Like,
it is
it's
because it's funny. It's funny
a
because
dog show.
yes, it is. If you see the video after the whole discussion happened and she walked away, everybody stood up and some of them were like, you know, like sheep following her, and others were
Yeah,
like John Travolta, like
you're like, what to do?
yes,
What
yes, it's
what is
like where shall I
what is
go?
the correct? Yes.
Yeah.
The other question would be, okay, if this was staged, who decided that she was gonna win and why?
Or
You know?
why if she was gonna win in the end, why she needed to push this
Yes.
situation to reinforce, like
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
Uh,
It's
and why was this conversation happening in such a loose space? And
yeah.
why were the cameras rolling when it happened?
That's
You know,
something that always gets me. Like, how are
like
you people?
that's
Are
quite
people so
convenient.
lucky? Yes, because I do
Yeah,
believe like some cameramen and things are so lucky. How do they get
yeah,
like these amazing videos? And it's like, how?
yeah,
How did you know?
yeah,
Who told you?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, things like this. If you start digging, you'll probably be very disappointed at the answers. To be honest, like another another story from Mexico. It was like the recently elected president. You know,
Ah, yeah, that she's
highly
now
celebrated,
the
highly
woman.
celebrated for being the
Yes,
female president of
and now
Mexico.
she's
And
going.
then a
She's out
week
of the
later, we
office.
find out, oh, but nine of our, oh, you not only that, but just after the election, we figured out that, oh, actually, nine of her competitors were murdered in the run up to the election. Like,
Oh
yeah.
my god. What are
Okay.
the odds? What are
Yes.
the odds?
Lucky you, lady.
Like you won by default. Like
And then
everybody
obviously,
decided
and
to
then
step
obviously
down.
immediately, and then obviously immediately after, it turns out she's also highly incompetent, and like you said, she's already been forced to vacate the premises. Well, it's just asking, asking for a friend, really. How does that work? How does that go?
I don't know. I honestly, every time I see these videos of amazing things they capture live, it's like,
Ah,
ah, okay, like fun.
super duper convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, like this
Mhm.
feels like a whole. We already spoke about this series, Netflix House of Cards, about this man, like literally he's orchestrated every single tragedy, and in front of everybody's like, oh, how? It's like,
Yeah,
who would have thought that this person was
yeah,
this and that? It's like
yeah,
being at the right time, the right moment. How did you get? I
yeah.
don't know. I was just
Wonderful,
passing by. I was just passing
wonderful.
by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I
So
don't
in
know if
short, fake news. Don't believe it. All of it. All of it is fake. Don't believe anything. Turn off your damn TV. Open a book. Read some philosophy or
but
something fun.
no, don't read
Uh,
philosophy. You'll get crazy in these days. Yes, no. Uh, yes, it's literally not helping.
well, you're
But
better off than watching the news because that's 100% guaranteed to drive you nuts.
I don't. Yes, I don't remember who said that, but I heard once that we should treat news and social media and like everything that is fabricated by the human in terms of news as a like stand-up comedy kind of thing. Like have fun, laugh with it, don't buy it. It's like
Yeah,
just use it to browse. To
yeah.
spend time.
I mean,
Like
I wouldn't even go that far. It's too dangerous. We're too susceptible to the bullshit, unfortunately. And no matter how smart you think you are,
you get contaminated.
you
Yeah.
are vulnerable to the bullshit. So
Uh,
even if you try to treat it that way, might work most of the time, but something is gonna stick, you know? Like I say, there is way more subtle ways of doing it. Like for instance, just turning on a movie produced in a particular country here or there and living yourself. We need to force ourselves. The problem with the movie is there is this. It needs to be believable enough. Oh, we need to already choose to believe the lie, else we cannot enjoy the movie. Okay,
fair.
so you've already made yourself vulnerable to believing something that is not true. Just by virtue of sitting down and watching a movie. Okay, so now the person who's writing that movie, he can use that. He's not a perfect person. He does not know everything. He has a political opinion, and you don't know what it is. He has opinions on everything, just like any other human being does. And once you've made that decision and decided to consume information, even if it is fictional, whenever you're consuming information and not actively participating in it, you should be very careful. And really, I do think we're better off avoiding in general.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. Especially during these days that we're gonna get attacked by aliens and we're gonna be changing to
Some fucking
5G.
comet who is sending signals to your brain and
Yes,
is
we're gonna
some
be living the real
foreign.
Armageddon be in a few months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all bullshit. Turn off your TV. That's what I have to say.
Keep watching YouTube. Subscribe. That's all you need.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, if so, then yes, at the very least, go for something a little bit more organic, like what we're doing here. Um, But if anybody is getting paid for it, be highly cautious. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, that was fun. I mean, fake
Yeah.
news, we can really talk about fake news for entire life.
Oh yeah, I could go for days on this. There are rants that I have to actively stop myself from going on.
Especially because it's easy to get lost, like you said, like start rabbit holing and literally get too
Ah,
deep and
yeah.
not healthy.
It's
Fun.
yeah, it's a bit of a dark topic. Fun but dark.
Oh, yeah,
Like
definitely. And sensitive because I mean, there's gonna be the two sides. There's gonna be the hardcore, like, yes, whatever is in the news is true. And then the other ones.
yeah, yeah. I prefer to be one of the other ones. If anybody is ever telling you you absolutely must believe what I am saying, yeah, they're probably about to lie.
I love when that happens. It's like flag words, like red flag, like trust me when I'm saying this, it's because you know
Trust me. Trust me has almost never been followed by something by a
truthful.
statement that is above board, you know.
Yeah,
Whatever comes after, just trust me, is absolutely a
a
lie.
lie. Yeah,
Yes. Yes,
yeah. It's
yes.
like,
You
oh my
don't say
god,
that if you don't say that if you're about to
lie.
say something that you believe yourself, you know.
It's it's funny because I mean this has been around for years, like you should never trust a person who says trust me, but they keep doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, because we keep fucking listening. It's infuriating. It's like this donkey bashing its head into the fucking wall over and over and over again and not learning. Turn off your damn TV.
Easy boy, easy. Anywho, mister, thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
New
Yeah,
people,
it was
subscribe.
fun as
Yes,
always.
please.
Yes.
We
Listen to our
are
friend.
we are now 28, just so you know. So
Oh,
not too bad.
woohoo!
Yes, 28
Woohoo!
souls trying
Yes.
to figure out this
Bring your
crazy world.
friends.
Yes, growing slowly but growing.
Exactly.
Thank you for being part of the tribe. Your support makes these conversations possible. This is Cosecha Salvaje, Wild Conversations.